Thank you so much. Her Excellency Josepha Sako, AU Commissioner for Agriculture, Blue Economy and Sustainable Environment. His Excellency Hans Lundqvist, Ambassador of Sweden to Ethiopia and Djibouti. Honorable Judith Nabakuba, Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development of Uganda. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Executive Secretary of the Economic Commission for Africa, Mr. Claver Gatete, it is my great honor to address the distinguished audience at this 5th edition of the Conference on Land Policy in Africa. Let me express my gratitude to the African Union Commission and the African Development Bank for the long-standing partnership in support of the African Union Agenda on Land. To the Minister of Uganda, and indeed all the representatives of governments here, I thank you for your continued commitment and efforts to reform the land sector. What we do at the continental level only comes to fruition when applied at national and local levels, with the support of many stakeholders and partners represented here. Ladies and gentlemen, the theme of the 5th Conference on Land Policy in Africa, Promoting Sustainable Land Governance in Africa for Accelerated Implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area, is at the heart of many of us as we explore ways in which African citizenry can maximally benefit from their land and its resources by taking advantage of the opportunity that enhanced trade brings to boost sustainable and inclusive development and environmental stewardship. The African Continental Free Trade Area holds the potential to lift 30 million people out of extreme poverty, boost Africa's income by $450 while connecting 1.3 billion people. This is significant in view of the youth bulge and opportunities of an ever-accelerating digitalization, including in land-based sectors such as agriculture. Through several commitments, Africa is committed to agro-industrialization for value addition and economic diversification as a basis for enhancing the benefits of the African Continental Free Trade Area. Through digitalization, therefore, there is great potential for the youth to tap into the growing agriculture and agribusiness sector, projected to be $1 trillion by 2030. This is a low-hanging fruit, given that most of the youth, Africa's youths, about 40 to 60% of them, are already engaged in agriculture and agro-businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, sound land governance systems are essential to facilitating youth, women, communities, and the private sector to engage and benefit from the African Continental Free Trade Area and digitalization. Good land governance promotes secure access to land and creates an enabling environment for investments that are key to unlocking the productive capacity of Africa. Good land governance will support the development of agro-industrial parks, infrastructure, and renewable energy, all needed ingredients for industrialization and trade. At the regional level, harmonization of land and related policies in light of the Protocol on Investment and other trade-related protocols will facilitate cross-border movement of people, regional investments, and trade. Continental and regional institutions are therefore key to ensuring coherence in regional aspirations for trade and investments and underlying policy and regulatory environment, including in land sector. Distinguished guests, Royal Highnesses, inclusive digital technologies can support land and trade policy making processes through data-driven decision making. They can identify opportunities for reform, job creation, climate change mitigation, and adaptation and food needs. With population growth and rapid urbanization, the food industry will continue to grow in the coming years, Investments in the capacity of farmers to increase production will be vital. Equally important will be investment in research institutions to develop models of appropriate and sustainable agro-processing, technological innovations, and implementation of land and agriculture policies that are forward-looking. As I conclude, distinguished guests, let me invite you to be innovative in seeking solutions that impact livelihoods of youth, women, and smallholder producers. After all, they constitute Africa's largest private sector and an integral part of our quest to find climate-smart solutions. How can land policies and land administration be more inclusive and guard their interests? How can land governance secure land rights and advance agro-industrialization to increase productivity and value addition in land-based sectors? How can land governance enhance economic integration? Are there potential unintended consequences of increased trade on vulnerable groups that depend on land? How can land policy development and implementation mitigate these impacts? I think these are some of the questions that we will be grappling with during this conference. And I hope that the 2023 conference on land policy in Africa will come up with recommendations and a call for action that can contribute to the economic and social transformation of Africa through inclusive land reforms and intra-African trade. With that, I thank you for your attention, and I wish you a successful conference.